Yes, everyone mute yourself. Roll number 51. Mute yourself, Ma. Yes. So various service subjects are allocated to you. In that, elements of mechanical engineering subject is one. In this element of mechanical engineering, you may be coming across the entire syllabus of the mechanical engineering branch. That means the basics of the entire syllabus of the mechanical engineering branch. If you go through the syllabus, each and every unit of your subject is one subject, is considered as one or part one, part two, like that. There are parts also for the subjects for mechanical branch. But for you people, that is compressed to a single unit by keeping only the basic concepts. This mechanical engineering subjects such as IC engines, gas turbines, heat transfer, hydraulic turbines and hydraulic pumps, reciprocating pumps, all these things are an individual subject. So first of all, let me come to the textbook, because as each and every topic is not related to a single subject, we need 5 textbooks for this subject. How many textbooks we need? 5 textbooks we need. You cannot find all the content in a single textbook. We need first of all 5 textbooks to see the contents of this textbook. For example, if it is IC engines, say, first unit, the IC engines textbook is something like this. RK Rajput. Okay, are you able to see the textbook? Are you able to see the textbook, ma?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
Now, are you able to see the textbook?
No, sir.
Not even now?
Sir. Yes, sir, we can see.
Thermal engineering textbook. See how thick the textbook is.
Yes, sir.
Hmm? How much big is the textbook? And this the content in this textbook, we are going to take a small part of the content, and that is your unit 1. Okay. See, if it is for mechanical branch, this entire textbook is a subject. That too, this subject will be divided into subparts, and that subparts will be continued for 1 or 2 years. Okay. Likewise, we are going to have individual textbook for individual unit. Okay. Let us come to the syllabus. So first of all, let us come to the course outcomes. First of all, you people have heard about engines, pumps in your day-to-day life, isn't it? And even now also, you people will work on the engines. People will use the engines. Whenever you take out your automobile, it may be a bike or it may be a car, whatever the automobile you are taking, that automobile will work on the engine. Okay, so you people will be in a position to differentiate what are the various types of engines available in the market and other devices such as compressors, pumps, like that. That is the first outcome. And the second outcome is related to the second unit, heat transfer. In the second outcome, by the completion of the syllabus of this subject, you people are in a position to understand what are the different modes of heat transfer, like conduction, convection, and radiation. Already you heard about these words in your physics. And also various governing equation, and also you are in a position to apply these phenomena in the various devices such as heat exchangers. And coming to the third course outcome. By the completion of this course, you people will know how various turbines and pumps will work. Right now, you people are very familiar with pumps. Okay, even you people have some basic idea about turbines also. Anyone in the class, do you know what is the purpose of the turbine?
Electricity generation.
It generates the electricity by taking some kinetic energy input. Okay, so it generates the electricity. Actually, if you talk in the mechanical language, it does not generate the electrical energy. It creates the mechanical energy. Mechanical energy means rotational energy. Okay, when it creates the mechanical energy, this rotation or this torque is transmitted to the alternator or a generator. Okay, and that generator will convert this mechanical energy into the electrical energy. That is the second part. But basically, turbine will provide the mechanical energy. Okay, so you people will know what is the working principle of hydraulic turbines and pumps. Hydraulic turbines and pumps. Okay, pumps, you know. I think in your day-to-day life, in your homes, you will use pumps even now. Are you using or not? Pumps.
Yes, sir.
You may be using a centrifugal pump at your home. Right now, you don't know various types of pumps. But by the completion of this course, you people are in a position to know what are the various types of pumps are there. Centrifugal pump will be there. Okay, reciprocating pumps will be there. Rotary pumps, vane type pumps, lobe type pumps, screw type pumps. Different types of pumps are there. All those pumps you will know, and their working principles also you will know. Okay, by the completion of this course. So that is the fourth course outcome. Sorry, third course outcome. Now coming to the fourth course outcome. See, you people have used the bicycle, right, in your childhood, or even now also some people will use the bicycles. How you are going to transmit the power from front pedal to the back tire? By means of some drive. Okay, there in your bicycle you are using chain drive. Similarly, you can transmit the power from one point to the other point by means of different transmission systems. One is chain drive, that is very familiar to you people, and other one is gear drive. Gear drive. Okay, gear drive. Other one is belt drive. I think you people have seen the belt drive somewhere in your day-to-day life. Belt drive is most commonly used even in what we call grinding machines will be there. Okay, grinding machines will work. The power will be transmitted from the motor to the grinder by means of the belt drive. Okay, and floor millers. There also you are going to see the belt drives. In many areas you are going to see the belt drives. Similarly, gear drives. Gear drives are commonly seen in your automobiles. One gear is going to mesh with the other gear. One good example I will give you in your watches. Okay, not digital, analog watches. In the analog watches, you can observe that there are many gears which are meshing with each other. And if one gear rotates, the other gear will also rotates. The direction may be different. So that is how many types of gate trains are there, and what is the speed ratio, and various parameters related to the gear trains you are able to know, and you are in a position to explain those things. So that is the fourth outcome. Not only gear trains but also belt drives. Okay, in belt drives also we are going to have different belt drives. For example, I will give you open belt drive and cross belt drive. Those are two different belt drives. Apart from this, we have some more belt drives in the power transmission systems. Okay, so you will be in a position to explain or also you will be in a position to analyze various power transmission systems. How the power is transmitted, how the torque is transmitted from one point to the other point. What is torque? Yes. What is torque, ma'am? Roll number 17. What is torque? Roll number 23. 27. You people there? Are you listening? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So torque is the twisting moment. I think in your first year, you have engineering mechanics subject. Do you have or not? Engineering mechanics. Do you have this subject or not in your first year?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, you don't have. Okay, maybe that subject is not there for you, your bench. Okay. In your physics, you will come across forces, okay, couple, moment, momentum, such type of words. Torque is the twisting moment. Twisting moment. Okay. If you want to transmit the power, okay, you are going to transmit the power by means of various belt drives, chain drives, or gate trains. Right now, you don't know what are those things, but in the upcoming classes, we will be having a clear picture regarding these things. Okay, right now, don't worry about these things. Okay, now coming to the next course outcome. Various manufacturing processes. Okay. See, there are various manufacturing processes such as turning, milling, grinding, welding. I think you people are well aware of welding, isn't it? Every day you will, not every day, whenever you go on the streets, at least you will find one welding shop. There are different types of weldings are also there. I think you know one or two types of weldings. Can anyone name one or two types of weldings? At least one welding? Anyone? Because this is a common subject, a general subject.
Molding.
Huh?
Arc welding.
Arc welding, very good. Very good, ma. Roll number 79. And
Gas welding, sir.
very good. Gas welding also. Sunil Verma,
Iron
very good.
welding.
Yes, arc welding, gas welding. Okay, like that we are going to have different types of weldings. Okay, tungsten inert gas welding. Okay, and also metal inert gas welding, plasma welding. Okay, like that we are going to have different types of weldings also in the welding. In the welding itself, we are going to have different types of weldings. The classification of weldings we are going to see, and what are the various working principles that also we are going to see. Okay, so in course outcomes, by the completion of this course, you people will be well aware of these parameters, this welding process. Not only welding process, but also various processes. I want to give you some additional process also. Apart from the syllabus, excluding the syllabus, I want to give you some additional process. Okay, in the syllabus you have welding, turning, and grinding. Apart from these things, I want to give you some additional process. Okay, so that you people will have a bright awareness, a well awareness of all the process. Okay, just a brief explanation will be there for each and every process. So various manufacturing processes you are going to come across. By the completion of this course, you are in a position to understand and to explain various types of IC engines and their working principles, and how the power will be calculated for the IC engine, brake power, indicated power, friction power, all those things. Okay, and also various compressors, pumps, turbines, and also various types of heat transfers, and also heat exchangers. Okay, like that. It is a vast syllabus, but you people are going to have only basic concepts. Okay, so let's throw some light on the syllabus more. First unit, IC engines. Okay. So the very first unit will deal with IC engines. IC means, the full form of IC means internal combustion engines. Internal combustion engines. So you are going to come across various types of IC engines. First of all, we are going to classify IC engines depending on various parameters more. Depending on number of strokes, it is divided into two types. One is 4-stroke engine, other one is 2-stroke engine. Depending on the fuel used, it is classified into number of types: petrol engine, diesel engine, CNG engine. Okay, like that we are going to have different types of engines depending on the fuel. Okay, and depending on the flow, we have different types of engines. Reciprocating engine is there, rotary engines are there. Okay, rotary engines are usually commonly used in used as turbo boosters. Okay, in the racing cars, and not only there but also in the rockets also the rotary engines will be used. Okay, in your automobiles, what type of engines will be used? Reciprocating or rotary?
Reciprocal.
This is
Rot-
reciprocating engine. These engines will be used. Okay, right now we are commonly seeing 4-stroke engine. Previously, even now also for autos, 2-stroke engines will be there for autos. Previously only for scooters. I think you people have seen these scooters. I suppose so, because Chetak, Bajaj, the scooters will be there, is used to be there. Okay, in that scooters, the engine used is 2-stroke engine. Okay, so 4-stroke and 2-stroke engines are there. In 4-stroke engine, we are going to have petrol engine, diesel engine. Okay, and depending on the number of cylinders also, again it is classified: single cylinder engine, 2-cylinders engine, multi-cylinder engine, like that. For your vehicle, if it is a bike, you may be having a single cylinder engine or a 2-cylinders engine. For some Royal Enfields or for some bikes, you can find 2-cylinder engines. Okay, commonly you are going to see only 1 cylinder. Similarly, for cars, you may be having a 3-cylinder engine, a 4-cylinder engine. Okay, depending on the car power, you are going to have number of cylinders. Number of cylinders means the capacity, the CC is going to increase. When the CC increases, the power produced will increase, like that. Okay, so all those things are there in unit 1, and we are going to calculate indicated power, brake power, specific fuel consumption, mechanical and thermal efficiencies. So first unit is somewhat problematic. Okay, 50% theory and 50% problematic. Okay, now coming to the second unit, gas turbines. I already told you turbines are used to provide mechanical energy by taking some kinetic energy. It takes the kinetic energy and it converts the kinetic energy into the mechanical energy. Not only kinetic energy, sometimes it is pressure energy, heat energy. It depends. It depends on type of device which you are using. Okay, the gas turbines, the medium here used is gas, air. Okay, so you may be using some air or gas to run the turbine. We are going to have various units in the gas turbine. Some simple gas turbine plant I will tell you. There will be a compressor. Okay, there will be a shaft, and there will be turbine. Air will enter from here, and there will be a combustion chamber. In the combustion chamber, we will supply heat to the air, and the turbine, this heat energy is going to get converted into mechanical energy, and from the mechanical energy it is connected to the alternator, and there we are going to get the electric power. So this is gas turbines. We are going to see the classification of gas turbines. We are going to have we have two types of gas turbine power plants. One is closed type and other one is open type. And gas turbines also, we have different types of gas turbines are there. We have impulse and reaction turbines in the gas turbines. We are going to see all those turbines in the gas turbines, second part of the unit. And in this also we are going to have 50-50. That means theory 50% and problematic 50%. We are going to use, we are going to calculate the efficiencies of the simple gas turbines. That is the problematic part. Okay, in that we have two cycles, Joule cycle and Brayton cycle. Right now you don't know what are these things, but you will know once we discuss these things. Okay, we will start from the basics. You don't worry about that. Now coming to the unit 2. In the unit 2, heat transfer is there. See, for various process we need to transfer the heat. For example, if you take if you want to cook the food, rice. If you want to cook the rice, then you need to transfer the heat to the rice. You need to boil it. Okay, to transfer the heat, there are various modes. One is convection, one is conduction, and the other one is radiation. What are these three modes will do? What are their mechanisms? What is their governing principle? All those things we will discuss in the second unit. Okay, and apart from that, we will see how we are going to apply this knowledge in designing various devices. We are not going to see all the devices, but we are going to see one device, that is heat exchanger. Heat exchanger. Heat exchanger means it will exchange the heat from a hot body to the cold body. That body may be a solid, a liquid, or a gaseous. A heat exchanger's work is to exchange the heat between hot body to the cold body. Tell me, in which direction the heat will flow? From?
Down to earth.
Down to earth? No.
Hot to cold.
Yes, very good. Hot to cold. Always heat will flow from higher temperature to the lower temperature.
Lower temperature.
So that is one important thing. Okay, and how those things are happening, we will see in the second unit. Modes of heat transfer. And we are going to, after receiving this knowledge, we are going to apply this knowledge in the designing part of the heat exchanger. I will tell you, I will give you one additional method for designing the heat exchanger also. Apart from the syllabus, I will give you one other method, effectiveness NTU method. There is one other method that also I will give you. In your syllabus, you have only LMTD method to design the heat exchanger. You have only LMTD method. Okay, this method. Apart from this, I will give you one more method to design the heat exchanger. Okay, so this is how the second unit is there. Now coming to the third unit. In the third unit, we have hydraulic turbines. See, first of all, let me show you three types of turbines which you are going to come across here. In that, we are going to discuss only two types. See, here we have three types of turbines as per the flow. Okay, actually the turbines are classified into two types: reaction and impulse. Okay, but as per the flow of the fluid, hydraulic turbine means here the medium is water. You are going to use water as the source or medium. Okay, so we have three types of flows of water. Water will flow in different directions. Okay, now what we are doing is we are constraining the flow of the water and we are directing that flow in a particular direction by constraining it. And we will run the turbine. So one is tangential flow, mixed flow, that means radially it will come inside and axially it will go outside. This is axis of the turbine. So radially it will come inside, means along the radius of the turbine it will come inside, and axially it leaves the turbine. That is the mixed flow turbines. And the turbines which will come axially and leave axially, that are axial turbines. So that tangential turbines are Pelton wheel, mixed turbines are mixed flow turbines are Francis turbine, and axial flow turbines are Kaplan turbine. Okay, right now you don't have the Kaplan turbine in your syllabus, you have only Pelton wheel and Francis turbine. But we will see what the Kaplan turbine also do. Kaplan turbine does. Okay, that also we will see. So we are going to discuss classification, working principle, and also we are going to calculate the efficiencies of the Pelton wheel. And so this is also problematic, 50-50. Okay, theory and problematic. Which is easier for you, ma'am? Theory or problems?
Theory.
In which area you are
Problems.
comfortable? Problems or theory? As some people are comfortable with problems and some people are comfortable with theory. Okay, even I am comfortable with problems because problems will be very easy to solve. If you solve the problems, you may expect complete marks in the problems also. But anyhow, we will see the easy way or easy approach to solve the problems. You don't worry about that. Okay, but one thing, you must be regular to the class. If you miss one class, that means the concept of that particular class will be missed. Only we are going to have weekly twice. Okay, means 2 days we are going to have. One is on Monday and other is on Tuesday. Monday 2 periods we are going to have. Okay, and Tuesday 1 period we are going to have. Monday first and third period we are going to have now, and Tuesday we are going to have third period. Okay, so we will continue with the various problems, various contents of the syllabus. Okay, in all the periods. You don't worry. But if you miss a one period, that means the derivation part or the formula part. If it is theory part, not a problem. You can study by yourself. Okay, but it is some derivation part or some problem part, then you will miss the way to approach. Anyhow, we are providing some videos. After completing the class, we are going to download this particular video and we are going to provide this video also. But one thing, if you get any doubt during the class time, you can ask. Okay, but after seeing the video, you may be getting some more doubts. But I will not be there for you to discuss that doubts. And every day we will be having class, and the syllabus is very vast. So we may not be having the doubt session of the previous class in the today's class. But I will provide you 10 minutes or 5 minutes for doubt session for each and every period. Okay, to discuss the content of that particular period, not the previous class, because we don't have much time. I already told you, these 5 units are 5 subjects for mechanical people. But you people, it is 5 units. Only the basic concepts are given in this one. Okay. Anyhow, coming to the syllabus. Now coming to the next one, we have Pelton wheel. Okay. See, I will show you the Pelton wheel also, ma. This is the Pelton wheel. Okay. The water will flow from here. Okay. How the water will be? What is the I think you know about pressure and kinetic energy, pressure, temperature, all these terms. You have heard about these terms, isn't it? You know about pressure. What is pressure? Yes, anyone in the class? You know about pressure? Huh? Anyhow, if you don't know, not to worry. We will discuss all the basic parameters while starting the first unit. Okay. Basic properties we are going to discuss in the first unit only. You don't worry about that. Okay. Whatever the properties which we are going to come across in entire syllabus, we will discuss in the first unit. Okay. That is not the content of the first unit, but that is a basic class that you can consider that as a prerequisite of the subject. Okay. A prerequisite class will be there. Okay. So we are going to build the dam across the river. The water level will be very high. The water level will be very high. So if this is the dam, the water level will be very high here, and the turbine will be placed somewhere at the bottom of the dam. Okay. From here to here, you are going to have the potential energy. Okay, potential energy. I think you know about potential energy and kinetic energy. Okay, so from here to here, you are going to have the potential energy. And that potential energy will be converted into kinetic energy. Okay, by inducing on the turbine. and that kinetic energy will convert into mechanical energy, and that further converted into electrical energy by using a generator. Okay, how the potential energy is there, and what is the pressure, that also we are going to see. Pressure equal to rho gh, there is a equations, various equations are there, that also we are going to see, and we are going to apply those things in the hydraulic turbines and also hydraulic pumps. See, in the hydraulic pumps we are going to have different types of pumps more. In that, in your syllabus only two pumps are given, one is reciprocating pump and the other one is a centrifugal pump. Okay, let me show you the other figures also for the Pelton wheel. This centrifugal pump, this Pelton wheel. This is also Pelton wheel. How it is working, you can see. Okay, see how the water will be coming through the penstock. This is the penstock. This is the nozzle. These are the buckets. This is the Pelton wheel. Okay, this is the casing. Right now you don't know the parts. I'm telling you briefly. Okay, the water will hit the Pelton wheel, buckets of the Pelton wheel. Then these buckets will turn. As the water is hitting very fastly, this Pelton wheel will turn very fastly. And this Pelton wheel is connected to the alternator. The shaft of the Pelton wheel is connected to the alternator. And from alternator, you can call this as generator also. From the generator, you can generate the power. Okay, by cutting the EMF, electromotive force, you already people are well aware of these things. So you can generate the power. Okay, like that. You can see the hydro turbines more. This is Pelton wheel. Let me show you one more turbine. All these are the equipments more which you are going to see. See, all these things are the equipments which is there in your syllabus. Okay. I think I have placed it here. See, this is the dam. Water will be coming like this. This is the penstock. At the bottom of the dam, you are going to see the penstock. And there you have the turbine. This is the Francis turbine now. Water enters radially inward and leaves axially outward and enters into the canal. Okay. And from here, you are going to have a belt drive to the generator, and generator will generate the power, and that power will be transmitted by means of transmission line. Okay. How this happens? The process, the entire process we are going to discuss. Okay, this is the Francis turbine now. How the water enters, all those things. This is an animated part. Okay, there is one more part also. There is also how we are going to generate the power. This is the Kaplan turbine. Sorry, Pelton wheel. This is the Pelton wheel. Water enters and it hits the bucket and leaves the Pelton wheel. Okay. For everything, the principle is same. Okay. We are going to have the dam, and here we are going to have the potential energy, and at the bottom we are going to have the pressure energy. This pressure energy is converted into the kinetic energy by hitting the Pelton wheel, and this is the penstock. That means we are constraining the flow of the fluid, and we are making the fluid to hit the turbine blades. Once the turbine blades rotates, the shaft of the turbine rotate, and this shaft of the turbine is connected to the generator, and the generator will be producing the power that will be transmitted by means of transmission lines. Okay. See, these turbines are very, very big now. You may be assuming the figure may be small, but the turbines will be very big. Okay. Each blade will be around nearly 5 to 6-7 meters each blade for the Francis turbine. That will be very big. The turbine itself is very big. Okay. Now coming to the pumps, we have different types of pumps that also I have brought you, so that if you see the image of the pumps, then what happens, you will understand. Okay, I have already seen this pump like that. Okay, here, this is the pump which you will use in your day-to-day life at your homes. A centrifugal pump. A centrifugal pump. This is a centrifugal attachment. See, here you have the shaft, and here you have the motor. Okay, at this point, see, this is the shaft, and at this point you are going to have the motor. When the motor is rotating, motor shaft is not the motor. Motor shaft is rotating. That shaft is connected to the impellers of the plane. This pump. So the impellers will rotate. When the impellers are rotating, here the fluid enters axially inwards. Okay, and because of the centrifugal force, the fluid will be pushed away from the center. and as it is closed here, we have only one part to escape the fluid, that is the delivery portion. So from the delivery portion, the fluid will enter out. This centrifugal pump. Similarly, we are going to come across the reciprocating pump also. Reciprocating pump is also there. This vein type pump. Okay, how the fluid will be transmitted by means of vein type pump, sliding vein type pump, that also I will tell you. Actually, that is not there in your syllabus, but in the classification, I will tell you this one. Okay. Similarly, we are going to have reciprocating pumps. How the reciprocating pumps will work and what are the various classification of the reciprocating pump. All those things we will see in the third unit. Okay. Right now, this is just like some introduction to the units. Okay. In the upcoming classes, we will see what is the working principle and what are the things we see. The third unit is the other three parts of the third unit is completely theoretical part. Okay, completely theoretical part. Only in the first part, hydraulic turbines, we have some part problems. Okay, now coming to the fourth unit, power transmission elements. Okay, let me show you some power transmission elements now so that the picture will be very clear for you. This is one power transmission element. Okay, this is the belt drive. Okay, here it is. Here we have the motor. When the motor shaft is rotating, this pulley will rotate. Okay, and this pulley is connected to this belt. This belt is frictional belt. Okay, frictional material will be there. So this belt will rotate along with the pulley. And when this pulley is rotating, this pulley also rotates by means of this belt. Okay, and these two pulleys are mounted on the same shaft. So this pulley also rotates. And here, this pulley also rotates. Okay, if you observe carefully, what is the, I will put the question in this manner. Okay, everyone, see the question carefully and answer me, mom. Answer me. Okay. What is the speed of this pulley? Comparison of the speed of this pulley to this pulley, this big pulley to this small pulley. What is the speed?
Fast.
Which one is faster?
Small one is faster.
Small one is faster.
Very good. Because, for example, if smaller one is rotating for 2 to 3 revolutions, the big one will rotate for only one revolution or less than one revolution. So the RPM of the big one is less when compared to the small one. So we are going to see various speed ratios, that means velocity ratios, and also we are going to do some problems. Similarly for gears also, if you have small gear and big gear. Okay, let me show you. There is one more belt drive. Okay, how the belt drive is rotating. If this rotates for 3 revolutions, it is rotating for 1 revolution, something like that. Okay, similarly, here also we have one more belt drive. Okay, how the power is transmitted by means of belt drive. Those are some examples. This cross belt drive. Cross belt drive. As everyone mute yourself. Okay, so like that we have different types of belt drives now. Similarly, we have gear trains also. Here we have the compound gear train. For example, there is a big gear and a small gear. If big gear rotates for 1 revolution, small gear will rotate for number of revolutions. Okay, so here also the speed ratio will come into picture in the gears also. Okay, that also we are going to see, and we are going to see some simple problems on the simple compound gear trains and reverted gear trains. This is a compound gear train. Simple gear train means, okay, there will be a driven gear and a driving gear. Okay, there will be only 2 gears in the simple gear train. In the compound gear trains, it is a there we are going to find number of gears meshing with each other. Okay, similarly we are going to have reverted gear also. Here I will show you some other type of gear. This worm gear, how the worm gear works, and also this is epicyclic gear train. Okay, how the motor is connected to the center gear and how the surrounding wheel is rotating, you can see. So various mechanisms are there, very interesting mechanisms. Okay, here also you can see driven gear, driver gear and driven gear are there. Okay, if you take only 2 gears, what happens? If one is rotating in the clockwise direction, the other one will rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. To make the direction same, what we are going to use? We are going to use a idler gain. Okay. So like that, we are going to have different gate trains and belt drives, mom. We are going to discuss that in the 4th unit. Similarly, in the 5th unit, we are going to see the welding. So already people have told me about arc welding and gas welding. Gas welding means oxy-acetylene welding. So those two things we are going to discuss in the 5th unit. Okay, not only those two things, apart from the weldings, we are going to see soldering. You people are well aware of soldering. And apart from soldering, we are going to see the brazing also. Okay, and what is the temperature range for each and every welding process? That also we are going to see. In the machining process, we are going to come across lathe, milling, and grinding. Apart from this, I will tell you slaughter and shaper also, planer also. Okay, how this machines will work, we'll discuss that. And additive manufacturing, there is a small topic, introduction to the 3D printing, that also I will tell you. Okay, so this is the cumulative syllabus of your elements of mechanical engineering. Okay, in the next class, in the 3rd period, I will start IC engines. Okay, there we are going to discuss working of 4-stroke and 2-stroke petrol engine. But before starting that, I want to tell you some parameters, some terms, okay, which will be used in the subject. Okay, so that you will be very clear when you listen the class, like pressure, volume, temperature. Okay, various parameters are there. Those parameters I will tell you. Okay. So with this, I want to conclude the syllabus class form. This is the introductory class for the syllabus and course outcomes. And in the next class, 3rd period, I will start 1st unit. Okay, by keeping the basic concepts. First of all, we'll start with the basic concepts. Okay, first of all, we'll build a strong foundation, and above that, we can build any number of floors. Okay, so let us start that one, mom. Anyhow, thank you everyone, and let us meet at 11:20 after 1 hour. I'm taking the attendance for this period. Yes. Thank you, mom. Now you can leave this class and you can join in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.